What is up, everybody? Welcome to my fourth chess video. I'm so glad to have you here. Today I'm going to be playing 3 bots on chess.com. But here's the thing, I didn't pick these bots. The person that will pick my bots isn't even a real person at all. It's going to be a random wheel. I put in 12 bots on chess.com that ranged from Martin, who I already played, to Hikaru, who is one of the best players in the world. I'm going to spin this wheel 3 times, once after each game, except now, because I have to start to see who I'm going to play. And we are going to see who my first chess bot game will be against. But before I do that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have time, hey, I've never said this before, but if you want, please like and subscribe to help. That helps the channel a ton, and I'd really appreciate it. So anyways, here we go. My first bot that I'm going to be playing, totally random, is going to be Eric. We're going to play Eric for my first game. So let's find Eric. Hopefully he's not too good. And it will be interesting to see if I've ever played him before, because I did not memorize these bots' names. I hate to admit it. So until I find Eric, this could take a while. Oh man. I should know where Eric is. Oh my goodness. Where is Eric? This isn't good. Eric's hiding from us. Oh my goodness. This is so embarrassing. I can swear to you I knew where Eric was, but maybe I don't. He could be any of these people, just any of them. Oh no. That's so bad. Maybe I should just restart the video, but I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. This is real. Man. This is very embarrassing. I cannot find Eric. Oh my goodness. Where is Eric? Where is he? Where is Eric? They have Mr. Beast on here? I didn't know that. I literally saw his name and put him in, and now I cannot find him. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Where is Eric? Wait. Is he on here? Oh my goodness. Where is he? Eric is nowhere to be found, everybody. He will not. Maybe he's too scared to play me. This is really bad. Oh my goodness. I cannot find Eric. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I cannot find Eric. What the heck? Okay, this is never hopefully going to happen after each one, but maybe it's part of the show. It's just looking at every single bot just to show how embarrassing this is. Wow. This is so embarrassing. There he is! I found him! There he is! And he's also a chess streamer, no way. That's crazy. He's rated 2600 and he's from Canada. Man. Okay. So I'm going to officially play Eric. It only took about 5 minutes to find him. And here we go. Me and Eric, let's do this. He starts knight f3, and I'm going to respond pawn d5. And now he puts his pawn in the center. His knight has a lot of control over the center pieces. Eric is probably going to win this game. He's rated way higher than me. I'm going to move my knight here. f6. See what Eric does. Quickly moves. He's just that much better than me. He doesn't even have to think. And he moves to pawn c4. If I take this pawn, then his pawn is going to open up, probably to here, and now his bishop's attacking my pawn. And if I try to defend that, it can become really tough later in the game. But just because I'm experimenting, let's just take the pawn, and now I can say I'm actually beating someone named Eric. And he quickly moves queen a4, checking me. He's going to move back. The bishop's not going to block, and he takes the pawn on c4. This is not good. Eric's coming after me already. Oh my goodness. Knight c6. What are we going to do? And then again, he quickly moves. Eric is just that much better than me, like I've already said 100 times. Now where am I going to move this knight? I can't move it here, because then his knight's going to take. I can't move it here, because then his knight's going to take, or his queen's going to take. And if I move it here, yeah, I guess I could do that, but then his queen can just attack it. So there's not a lot of good options. I don't want to move back. I guess I'm just going to move here. So now that attacks the queen. And this, yeah, there you go. His queen quickly moved back. Eric knows what he's doing. He's from Canada, too. Okay, let's attack this pawn right here. So that opens up my bishop now. So now my bishop has access to all these squares that can help it in the game later on. And now his bishop is now attacking my knight. So now I have to think about the knight again. And I can't move my knight anywhere. Anywhere I move it, it'll get lost. So I have to defend it. So let's go here. That opens up my queen to defend this knight. And now he takes the pawn, and I'm going to take back with this pawn. If I took back with this bishop right here, it would have led to lots of problems in this game because his queen would have taken my queen, and after I take back with most likely the rook, then his bishop will take my knight because my queen will be lost. And now he pushes, attacking my knight on b4. Wow, there's nowhere for my knight to go. My knight will be lost. Eric is just a better chess player than me. Wow, and he's just making moves that are grandmaster level. He's technically a grandmaster. 2600 is a grandmaster level. And Eric is showing why he is such a good chess player. And I'm trying not to lose my temper because I did not want to start my first game playing a 2600 rated player. Man, not great. So he moves his pawn and kicks my knight. Anywhere my knight moves, it will be captured. And it only has 2 spots it can move. Can't even move back. Wow. So there's not really a lot of good options here. But I'm going to keep trying. Let's go bishop e7. And the goal of that is now my knight can get out and my bishop will now have this diagonal as well as this diagonal. So my bishop is now becoming even more powerful. Even more powerful than it previously was. Okay, now I'm in a castle. I'm just trying to protect myself from Eric right now. I don't know how long it's going to last though, because he's getting closer and closer to checkmating me every move. Okay, he moves his pawn out. All of Eric's pieces are in great spots. His queen has way more control of the board than my queen. His knight has full access to the center of the board. My knight doesn't, except maybe here, but then he'll just get kicked by this pawn. There is nothing I can do. Nothing. There's no moves I can do that will help me in this game. None. So, honestly, I should just resign, but because I'm not going to be that type of person, let's just go queen c7. And that now opens up my rook here. And that now lines my rook up with my queen right here. So if I move this bishop, it forces this queen to move. Because the queen is the most powerful piece on the board and you do not want to lose it. You just don't. My bishop moves back. Now my rook is eyeing his queen and he has to move it. There you go. Okay, wow. Now my bishop has access to these squares, so let's take advantage of it. Well, we can take advantage of it, but now his queen's eyeing this pawn. If his queen takes this pawn right here, my rook, no, that wouldn't work. This isn't looking good. Wow. This guy's playing like a grandmaster because he is a grandmaster. He's 2600. And he's playing really amazing. I'm just going to block that. So now he can't take this pawn right here. And now he develops his knight. So here's the thing what Eric has done in this game. Throughout this entire process, Eric has developed every single one of his pieces, and they are on active squares. For anyone that's starting to play chess, that is what you want to do. Get all your pieces out and attack the center of the board. Because the more control you have of these center squares, the more likely you are to get to my king right here. Eric has all of his pieces in the center of the board. My pieces are all playing defense. Because Eric is going way too aggressive. He already has my knight, and he's already up by 3. There's not many moves I can make. I can take this pawn, which I'm going to do, but now, after his knight moves, it will attack my queen. But he decides not to do that. So it's like Eric's almost giving me a 3-pawn. I'm just going to move back and pretend that never happened. I took advantage of the Grandmaster. Wow. For now. Okay, Eric's going to move his bishop out to c4. And then attacks this pawn, so now I have to defend that. So I'm going to move bishop f7. That now defends this pawn from getting attacked. And now Eric develops his rook to d1. So now if his bishop moves back, he's eyeing my rook. And now all the rooks get involved in the game. So now it becomes really interesting. How am I going to play this out? I am going to make the weird move. Pawn e5. He takes. Okay, I'm going to take back with the rook. But now his knight can't take this pawn because my queen defends it. His knight is eyeing my rook, so there's only one possible move, and that's to go back. If I didn't go back, his knight would have just taken my rook, and that would have been very bad. So you don't want that to happen. And now his knight forked my queen and my rooks. He just forked 3 of my pieces in one move. That's what 2,600 players are going to do. But this is a good learning experience, so I'm glad I'm doing it. I think here, when you're at the stage of the game, you should resign, but I'm just going to play it out just a little bit longer. But because he's a bot, he's not going to make any mistakes. But I'll still play it out. So I'm going to go queen d6, which doesn't really do much. In fact, it actually is not a great move at all. Because now he can move his bishop back. Like, okay, he just moved his bishop back, like I said. Now his rook is eyeing my queen. So now I have to move my queen back. And Eric is making me want to press the resign button so bad. I'm not going to do it, though. And now his other rook gets into the game and goes to d1. So now this is becoming really hard to defend against. Every single time Eric moves, it becomes a threat. So now I have to move my queen. Let's move it here. So now it has control of these squares. Now he moves his knight. I'm just going to take. You shouldn't take when you're losing, but I'm just going to. And in this position, I'm going to, I guess, go here. Yeah, let's go here. So now this bishop's being attacked, and it's also pinned to the king. So he can't move his bishop. So how can I get that queen out of the way? Wow, this would be a great move. I just can't do that because then his queen would just take my bishop here on g5. So his rook is now attacking my bishop. So, oh man. Welcome to chess. I'm going to go bishop f6. So that's going to attack his rook. His rook's probably going to check me. Then I go out. No, it doesn't. Wow. Okay, let's double attack the bishop. Double attack it. So now all my pieces are looking right into the bishop's eyes. And then, oh my goodness, he just checked me. Checks me again. Oh man, this isn't looking good at all. Checks me again. He's probably going to win this game at this rate. He already was going to, but he's going to win even faster now. And there you go. Eric wins. That was a tough game, and there's really nothing more to say than that. And the crazy thing is, looking back, I only made one blunder according to the game review. It felt like a lot more. It really did. But when you look at how this game went, he started off with a really weird opening move. Most players don't start playing this way, but he did. So he went knight f3. So we kind of played a normal variation of the game, right? And it didn't really turn into anything crazy until he attacked my knight, which was so out of the blue, I wasn't even thinking about that move. And he just made it so fast, and Then I realized I couldn't move my knight anywhere, and then it became a whole thing. And once he took my knight, I knew it was going to be very hard to win, because especially when you're playing a bot this good, it's almost guaranteed they're going to beat you unless every move is perfect. And I hate to admit it, none of my moves were perfect in this game. And he kind of just took advantage of some key parts in the game, and he ended up winning. But I played pretty well, and not the best way to start your first game, but luckily we have 2 more to go, and I'm going to make those better. As long as I'm not playing someone like Eric, then maybe it'll go the same way. So let's see who my second player is against. It's against Eric again! Dude, I think I play Eric 2 times in a row. Is there a rule against that? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play Eric 2 times in a row. We already know what's going to happen, right? Okay, oh no, this is nice. Okay, we're going to be playing Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, that's a good matchup. And I actually know where he is on the table. Okay, so now we have to go out again. Man, this is going to be fun. Okay, this is going to be a very good game. Jaylen Brown's rated very similar to me because I played him before on the app, and he was actually one of the people I really wanted to play. He plays for the Boston Celtics. He's also rated 1500, so this is a very fair game. Now remember, he's a bot, but it's still going to be really interesting to see how this game plays out. So he starts off with d4. So I'm going to respond with d5. So we have 2 games that I'm the black pieces, so not great luck. Okay, he did exactly what Eric did. He decides to give me this pawn, and if I take it, then he's going to attack it with the bishop and gain parts in the center. So I already made a mistake against Eric, right? So I think I'm going to go to f6. So now that's going to guard this pawn here on d5. Wow. Did Jaylen Brown just make a mistake? He usually doesn't do that, especially in basketball. But I think he might have just gave me a free pawn here. Let's just take it. I don't know why he did that. Why would Jaylen Brown do something like that? And another, okay, he gives me another free pawn. He's probably going to take it with the knight. Okay, he does. Okay, so this is now, okay, I'm basically up a pawn. So I'm winning by a pawn, and I have what I want on Jaylen Brown. So now I'm going to attack his queen. So I'm pinning his knight to his queen right here. And he doesn't like that, so he's going to kick my bishop out. So I'm just going to take. There are ways where I can move back here, and then his pawn would attack my bishop, and my bishop would have to go here, and then his pawn would attack my knight, and that would just be really bad because then my knight would have to move back. So, you know what? Instead of doing that, or instead of going here, I'm just going to take the knight. And he takes back with the queen, and we have ourselves a chess game. So, this is a very, very interesting position because I can take this pawn, and if anybody saw that, yes, I can take this pawn here. But if I do that, then his queen's going to take my pawn, and now it's attacking my rook, and there's no way to defend that, and now I'm losing a rook. So I want to defend this piece right here. How am I going to do that? I can go up one and block it like this, or I can develop a piece, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to develop the knight, and if he attacks my knight here, which he does, I'm going to go here, and now I'm attacking his queen and forking his king and rook right, if the arrow will work, right here. So now because his queen doesn't want my knight to take his rook by going here, and then his king would have to move, and then my knight would take his rook here, his queen is forced to go to c2 to defend that. So now we have ourselves a very interesting game, and his queen is also attacking my knight right there. So now I have to remember that my knight's now being attacked. How am I going to protect it? Man, this is tough. Okay, let's go here. And there's this weird move called en passant where you can take the pawn, but he either doesn't know because it's a bot and they didn't put it in the system yet, or he just decided not to make that move. But he could have, if he wanted to, have taken that pawn since it leapfrogged his pawn in the d file. My pawn was on the e file, so he could have done that, but he decides not to, and he decides to go to a4 with his pawn, which is a very weird move, and I do not know why he did it. Eric wouldn't have made that move, by the way. Jaylen Brown made that move, though. Okay, I think I'm going to check him here. So now he has to move his king, or he has to defend it. So he defends it. I'm going to just take. I'm going to take, and now my knight's being attacked, and I can go here, and that forks his bishop and his rook. And so he defends that, kind of, by moving his rook here. Now that's attacking my knight. And now I'm going to flip the whole board and attack his queen. So my knights in this game are going crazy. They're attacking everything they see. And now I'm going to, well, this is a risky move, but I'm going to check him. And oh no, he didn't just do that. This is amazing that he made that move. I wanted to make that move so bad. There is this weird formula here where I can just take. Okay, so I can take with the queen and just take the pawn. But if I take with the knights, that opens up a whole different chapter. And okay, Jaylen Brown is not rated 1500. That is awful. He made a huge mistake there. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so let me just explain what happened. If you're like, what the heck? Here's what happened. I moved my queen to h4. He defends it by going g3, which is a bad move. I can take that pawn with either the knight or the queen. If I take it with the queen, I check him again. I decide to take with the knight. And the reason I decide to do that is because now my knight can move back and his queen, or his king, is now undiscovered, checked by my queen, and my knight can now take his most powerful piece on the board. And Jaylen Brown, just like in basketball, maybe, honestly not, he's a very good player, not so well in chess though, because he decides to take the knight, and now I can undiscovered check his king. Oh, but he can move back with the queen. I didn't see that. Wow, okay. So Jaylen Brown knows something that I guess I didn't see. Yeah, he can just defend that. But I was thinking now my knight can just take his queen because this king will have to move. But he can defend that. So now I have to decide, do I take it or not? And that's a tough decision. I think I'm going to take. So now his king has to get out into the center of the board. And this is when the game becomes, we're now in the middle game. So Jaylen Brown's up a pawn. But that's not the end of the world. I can come back, right? You know, I didn't against Eric, but that's because I was down by a knight. So that's maybe a little bit different. And it's Eric, right? So it doesn't really feel the same way when you're playing Jaylen Brown. Okay, let's move my knight back. So now my pawn can go, well, my pawn can go to e4. It could, but then he would win a piece. So I probably shouldn't do that. I have to defend this pawn right here. I have to defend it. Man, how am I going to defend that pawn? There's no way I can defend it unless I move this pawn up. So I'm going to have to move this pawn up. So now my pawns have a pawn pyramid, but the problem is if I castle kingside, that looks pretty weak because this pawn, this square is now not filled by a pawn. So now his bishop has access to this square and it can become bad later in the game. Don't want that. Okay, I'm going to kick his bishop out. So I'm now trying to block all the white squares. Okay, he moves his bishop back to e2. So now his knight is attacking my pawn here on g7. So that's interesting. I think I'm just going to move my pawn up to g5 to prevent that. I could have moved my rook to g8. I decided not to. And Jaylen Brown gives me another free pawn. I think the bots are programmed every once in a while to make a bad move at this level. So it kind of feels good. I won a pawn, yet, whatever. And now his bishop is attacking my pawn here. So all his pieces have very powerful motives compared to me. All of them. His bishops have lots of squares. His rooks have lots of squares. His pawns are pretty active. My rooks don't have any squares. I have a knight that's basically trapped. This is not looking good for me. I think I'm going to go here. That's going to attack his rook. And his rook moves back. Okay. I'm now going to move a very weird move that probably isn't recommended. I'm going to go king f7. And the reason I did that is because, I'm sorry about the lawnmower, by the way. It's a very loud lawnmower. It's okay, though. It's part of the video. That's just how it's going to work sometimes in life, right? Things are unpredictable. Finding Eric is unpredictable. People mowing their lawns are unpredictable. That's fine. So, by the way, I'm sorry if it's loud, like I said. So he moves his pawn to h4. And I think I'm just going to take this. And now because I moved my king to f7, my rooks are now connected. And that's really good. You want your rooks to be connected in the game. This is bad though. Jaylen Brown's getting to me fast. This is not good. This is a really close game. We're tied. Okay, I'm going to move my knight. I move it to f5. And now he checks me again. I only have one possible move. Oh no, I might lose this game. Makes another check. Oh shoot. I have to defend this. That was my only possible move to stay alive in the game. And now he attacks this pawn here. How can I defend that without getting checkmated? I think I'm just going to go here. That defends this pawn. And now his bishop moves back. He wants to go here. And if he does that, that's checkmate. Jaylen Brown has me in a trap. And it works so far because I don't see a way I can get out of this. Or I can give up the rook. My only possible move. I give up the rook. Oh my goodness. Never mind. That was awful. Okay, let me explain what I was thinking there. So when his bishop moved to g4, I was thinking, okay, he is going to go here to e6 with his bishop. And that will be checkmate. Because then my rook will have to go here and his bishop will go here. And that will be basically mate because my king will go up. And it's basically game over. So I thought I have to defend against that. What I didn't realize is that I totally forgot about this square. Which is so important. And it cost me the game. Because I was so worried about this bishop going here, I thought I had to defend against that. So I use this pawn and move it up one square, blocking this bishop. Now, like I said in the video about maybe 1 or 2 minutes ago, maybe 1 or 2, I don't know, his bishop's going to take my rook on h8. And then I'll just take back and it'll be okay. I'll be losing, but I'm still going to be in the game. Well, that's not what happened. He moved his bishop back. Again, lawnmower's back on. Sorry. So I moved my pawn to f5. And he checkmates me. Because I totally forgot this pawn was what was actually holding everything together in the first place. And that's how Jaylen Brown beat me. Wow. 0-2. And the bad thing about this game was I could have won because I'd beaten Jaylen Brown before. It didn't happen to be a great game in terms of consistency. And I might have played a little bit rushed as well. And if I'm going to be honest with you, in this game, I took every single piece I saw, which probably wasn't smart either. And there were lots of opportunities in this game. I had Jaylen Brown where I wanted him, and then I made the biggest mistake in the game. This was the move that changed everything. Right here. Because that set up a trap, and I could have easily blocked it by going maybe pawn h5, and that would have blocked this bishop from doing that, but instead, I just decided to take the pawn. This bishop moves to h5. And after that, I had no chance against this trap, and he mates me. That's what happens in chess. It's one move, and I missed it. And Jaylen Brown took advantage, and the NBA champion checkmates me. But that's okay. Okay, it was just a bot. Okay, last game. Who will it be against? Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? This might be the worst wheel of all time. And I promise you, the wheel is supposed to be fair, but I think it's against me. That's awful. That's really awful. Not 1, not 2, but 3 players I have to play, and they're all rated over 1,500. Every single one of them. Every single one is rated over 1,500. Man. Okay. I should say I now have to play the best chess player of all of the chess players. Of all of the chess players, I have to play the best one. Well, maybe Magnus is a little better. I don't know. I don't know if they have Magnus or Hikaru rated. Okay, Magnus is rated 2882. Hikaru is rated 2820. Doesn't really make any difference to me because I'm rated 1500, just so you know. But I have to play the second best chess spot in the game. Now the good news is I'm going to start with the white pieces, so that helps a little bit. But You can see how overpowered I already am. I'm rated 1500, he's rated 2800. Hikaru was one of the best chess players in the game, and now I have to play his bot. So I'm going to lose this game, okay? There's no possible way I can beat him. I'm going to be playing a very sophisticated computer that will make almost every move perfect. Now, if I do somehow beat Hikaru, I will become famous, but it's not going to happen, and I'm not going to use Stockfish and cheat and pretend I beat him, because, by the way, if anyone tries doing that, it's kind of obvious. So I'm just going to start off with e4, and this goes into the main line, and Hikaru plays g6, so far, this is a regular chess game, okay, for now. It's going to get bad pretty soon. I'm going to attack the center and go to d4, and Hikaru's going to go g7 with his bishop. There you go. And so now we are playing a very special variation that most players play, and it's called the modern defense with 1e4. His bishop now has access to this square. My queen is, my queen's blocking that, so his bishop can't just take this pawn, but I'm already scared because I'm playing Hikaru. Now the thing is, even though I'm playing Hikaru, I still have to play the same way. I have to pretend like I'm playing a chess player at my level. I can't get worried. I can't trade all my pieces, so I'm just going to play knight f3. And by the way, it makes me feel a lot better in playing a bot, not actually Hikaru himself. Makes me feel just a little bit better. Not by much, though, because the bots are usually nicer. If I was playing Hikaru in real life, he would just make up one of his 100 tactics and beat me in 10 moves. Luckily, this is a bot, and the bot is not programmed to do that, I hope. Maybe it is, but as long as we're not playing, any crazy, risky things, it should work. So I'm going to move knight c3. I have to play it safe. Okay, here's the over-under for you. Can I survive Hikaru in, let's go 50 moves. In 50 moves from now, can I at least be in a close game with Hikaru in 50 moves? If I can do that, that's got to count for something, right? I think. Okay, I'm going to move my pawn to b4. That blocks this. If he moves here, okay, no, he doesn't. Okay, so he moves his bishop to b7, and now that attacks my e4 pawn. But that e4 pawn, by the way, just so you know, is defended by the knight, right? But it can lead to problems down the road because his bishop's also in this game. So I have to think about this pawn. Sorry, oops, move the page. So what are we going to do to defend that? I think maybe I should just move this pawn up. What happens if I just move this pawn up? And now that kind of blocks his bishop. Okay, so now he offers a trade. So here's what I did in the first two games that were mistakes. I took the trades, and I ended up losing position value. You usually don't want to trade your pieces. Instead of just trading this pawn, I'm going to develop this bishop right here. And now, this happens in chess all the time. Now you have one square every piece is looking at, and that's what's happening. So now his knight comes into the game and also attacks this square. So his knight's attacking the square. His bishop's attacking this square. And by the way, my pawn's also protecting it. My knight's protecting it. My bishop's protecting it, but it still can lead to problems. I can take, but like I said, then I give Hikaru the win. So I'm going to kick his knight. I'm going to kick his knight and go to d5. And he's going to take the pawn. I'm going to take back. He's going to take, and Hikaru's up a pawn. I made a mistake. Okay, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. It was a small mistake, but now I'm already going to lose. Hikaru's not going to blunder a pawn. This game's already over. Probably not the best thing I should be saying to myself, but it's really hard to win a game when you're losing by 1 to Hikaru. Especially when he's a bot. He's guaranteed to make no mistakes. Okay, he moves his queen out to d6. And the first thing I thought about was, why not just kick the queen? e4, right? And now his queen's forced to move, because my knights would now be attacking it. Oh my goodness, why won't this work? The arrows aren't working. There we go. But even if I did that, it might not be that smart, because yeah, that would actually be really dumb. His queen would just take my pawn. This is not good. This is not good at all. Hikaru's already on me. Okay, I probably should have just spun the wheel again. But this is bad. How do I defend this pawn? I think I'm just going to play the weird rook b1. The reason I played that, most players would just defend it by going a3. And I could have done that, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if I do that, You know, that's just going to be a normal move. The computer's going to know it. But the computer already knows everything, honestly. So it's not going to make that big of a difference. Okay, so Hikaru now develops his knight. And this is what I was talking about with Eric, too. Hikaru is way ahead in development against me. And the thing that's most embarrassing about this is I move first. When you are the white pieces, you have a huge advantage in chess. And Hikaru has moved every single piece that he needs to move in this game. His knight's developed, his bishops are developed, his rooks are in great spots, he's ready to castle, kingside or queenside. I still have to develop my queen. I still have to develop my bishop. What am I doing? Okay, I'm going to develop my bishop. I'm behind in development. I gotta hurry. Bishop d3. Now he castles. I'm going to castle. So we just made two very quick moves. And now he takes. Okay, I'm just going to take back. He's going to take. Now Hikaru's up by 2. Okay, I told you this would happen, and I warned you guys. If you're still watching this video, I warned you it was going to happen. But Hikaru is now up by 2 pawns. And, you know, if you don't want to see me get killed, then you probably should stop watching. It's going to keep getting worse. He's rated 28-20, right? So it's going to happen. And that's the 10th time the lawnmower's turned on, by the way. Just you're keeping track. Okay, so his queen now attacks my pawn on c2. So I have to defend that, but now his bishop is also attacking this pawn, so he's going to win another pawn. Hikaru's going to be up by 3. So I'm just going to let him take this, if he wants. And then I'm going to move here, so that blocks his bishop. Now this is going to take my rook, right? Yeah, it's really hard to stay focused in this game when you already know you're probably not going to win. Especially when you're playing a bot this sophisticated and he's going to take. So Hikaru's going to be up by 5 pawns. And I'm going to lose this chess game. But, you know what? Every game is a learning lesson, right? Every game's a learning lesson. And, by the way, you really shouldn't trade pieces when you're losing. I'm just going to do that because there's really nothing more to do. This is really hard to play, you know? I feel really dumb. I just lost 3 games against 3 bots. You know what's crazy? This video could have gone any way. I could have played 3 really bad bots. I could have played 3 really good bots. Wait, I did play 3 really good bots, and I lost all 3 of them. I said move 50, and it's move 24. So I tried, guys. I tried, but it's not going to work. I'm sorry. It's really hard to play a game this way and not feel bad about yourself. But it is Hikaru, so that makes me feel a little bit better. And I think it's Hikaru's move. But he hasn't moved yet. That's weird. Maybe Hikaru just took a nap during the game. It was too easy for him. So, yeah, this isn't good. So, I don't know why it might have glitched. But I'm just going to move my rook here. And now his pawn attacks my pawn. And I'm just going to get my king out. He's probably just going to take it, yep. And Hikaru has the advantage in this game. And there we go. He's going to win another pawn. There you go. I should have, you know, what I should have done is just move back. But I didn't. Okay, there's a lawnmower again, by the way. Just, if you're keeping track, I'm sorry. I just have to keep mentioning it. Because it's kind of funny to me. How many times can you turn a lawnmower on and off? Like, that's got to be, like, the world record. That's, like, 12 times during this video I've heard the lawnmower go on and off, on and off. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. It's kind of crazy. At first it annoyed me, but then it kind of became more funny. Because it would just keep turning on and off during the video. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so here's a tactic you have to watch out for. Hikaru is now up by 6. It went up from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he's now up by 6. And what he's going to do is, if I just make a normal move, like check him, or then he moves his king and I make another normal move, he has his powerful rook h3. I move my king back, and his rook will now take my rook, and there's no way I can win the game that way. I already lost. So I have to protect myself against that. So I'm going to go king g4, which is a terrible move. And, you know, it's just, you know, something I thought of in the moment, so why not? And now he develops his other rook. So Hikaru is developing his rooks constantly. And he's getting into really tough positions to overcome. Really tough. My rook doesn't have many access to open files like his rooks do. But it still has one open file, and that's the C file. So now my rook can at least control some of these squares, right? So that's kind of nice. It has all these squares. So Hikaru's giving me a pawn. He's like, Kayvon, I feel bad for you. I want to give you a pawn. But you know what? We know what Hikaru is. He's a 28 rated, second best chess player in the world. If he's giving you a pawn, it's probably for a bad reason. And I've already learned my lessons in the first two videos not to take a pawn that's just open. And I think I know what he's going to do. If I take this pawn, his rook is going to go here, and I'm going to be forced to go here. And his rook's going to go here. I actually don't know. It's going to be bad. Let's just take the pawn and see what happens, though. He's going to go g1 with his rook. Yup. And now I'm forced to go here, like I said. And let's just see what happens. Let's see what Hikaru was thinking. Oh, wow. I should never have taken the free pawn, but I made the mistake too. It wasn't a mistake. I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was getting myself in trouble. I didn't know he had checkmate in 2 moves, though. Hikaru's like, I'm done. This guy's stupid. I'm just going to checkmate him now. That's what he did. Well, that was something I didn't see. But it's hard to see every possible move. I'm still working at that. And I actually don't know why my rating went up to 1528. And it was 1515 and I played no games. So maybe chess.com saw my videos and decided to be nice to me and make me look better while I played these bots. I don't know. But I'll take it. So I gained 13 rating points. I don't deserve them, but I gained them. So I'll take it. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope the wheel made it kind of fun, even if I got crushed in every game. And if you want, you can go on my account and analyze the games. And maybe in one of my future videos, I'll do that. But take care. Have a good one. Feel free to like and subscribe. And see you next time. Thanks for watching.